Hello everyone, my name is Zoe Hill, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the effects 9/11 had on Pakistan. When most of us think about Pakistan, initially we imagine a place that seems to be a war zone. Many of us picture empty city streets with the constant sound of bomb blasts in the background. However, the country of Pakistan did not used to put off this depressing picture so many of us imagine. Before the events of 9/11, Pakistan used to be a fairly normal and peaceful place. When Osama bin Laden was found in Pakistan, this caused a lot of tension within the country, as well as outside of the country. He was found not far from a military base, which made it seem like he was working alongside the Pakistani federal government. This caused confusion within the nation because people were unsure if the government was being controlled by terrorist groups or who was the mastermind behind the attacks on the United States. It also caused confusion outside of Pakistan because of its chaos. Many of us either vaguely remember or remember pretty well how confused and afraid our own families and our own citizens were when that event occurred. According to veteran journalist Fakhar Rehman, the events of 9/11 have caused Pakistan to become a divided nation. Rehman said, "Over the last 10 years, I have watched Pakistan become a divided nation. Everyone now has to define himself by where he falls on the line of extremist, liberal, or moderate. The country now looks like a war zone, with checkpoints and security barriers in all the main cities. Suicide attacks were an unknown phenomenon here. The first in years was the assassination attempt on President Pervez Musharraf in December of 2003. Now they happen all the time." Security threats and violence continued to rage throughout Pakistan. Many citizens have fled their homes in hopes to escape the violence. However, Rehman continued by saying, "Thousands of people have been killed here, children have been orphaned, and entire families have been uprooted. Insecurity has become the dominant feeling in the last 10 years. No-go zones, checkpoints, anti-terror courts, these are all everyday things in Pakistanis' lives, and they never were before 9/11. After the events of 9/11, Pakistan's economy began to crumble. Many businesses, such as hotels and restaurants, had to close due to the lack of tourists visiting the country. Tourism played a major role in keeping Pakistan's economy going well. And so when all of that action that they were receiving suddenly stopped, it hit pretty hard with their economy. Many essential businesses, such as banks and even schools, were forced to close because they received many security threats. Security threats within cities actually caused many problems. People were afraid to leave their homes, whether it be for going to the market or going to work. And without that flow of currency, there was no way that the economic status of Pakistan was ever going to improve. The country's debt was rising dramatically. Many people did not want to associate with a nation that seemed to agree with acts of terror, so many of Pakistan's investors withdrew their investments, which caused the country to fall further into an economic downfall. Not only that, but by pulling investments, it became very difficult for Pakistan to receive help from other countries, which caused them to kind of be stuck in this horrid economic situation. Because of the events of 9/11, Pakistan is now looked at as a terrorist state. This causes issues because it becomes very difficult, like I said, for Pakistan to receive help from other countries or to make alliances. Pakistan is also constantly feeling pressured to do more. Afghanistan also places complete blame on Pakistan for the events of 9/11 and does not let them or the rest of the world forget that. In addition to these things, life really just became so much harder for every Pakistani, whether they knew what was going on or not. People would tend to generalize all of them, especially those from Pakistan, but they were living in the United States at the time of 9/11, and assume that every Pakistani supported the events of 9/11. And I think those kind of generalizations are still continuing to happen today, which is really unfortunate. After the events of 9/11, life in Pakistan was completely altered. The economic status of Pakistan dropped drastically. Businesses suffered, students suffered, and families suffered. Average citizens had to live every day in fear, wondering if and when things would get better, or they had to make dangerous journeys in order to get out of Pakistan and away from those bad situations. The view that the rest of the world has had on Pakistan completely flipped. We think of it as a war zone, and it has not always been that way. In addition, many consider it as a nation of terror, when in reality many of the average Pakistani citizens are very peaceful and very respectful people. Thank you guys so much for listening to my presentation. I hope that I was able to teach you something new, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.